What's going on, and welcome in to my YouTube channel. I'm Sammy Jarjour. I can be found everywhere on social media at Sammy on Tap. That's SAMI on Tap. And today I want to talk some Cliff Avril potentially becoming a coach on the Seahawks, helping out the Seahawks in some type of way, and why it would make sense, especially for this young defense, what we have cooking up, and the different things that are coming in Seattle. So if you appreciate any of these videos, if you like talking Seahawks, like watching things about Seahawks, please like and subscribe, stay tuned for more stuff, and let me know in the comments what you want to know. And check out all my stuff on the channel. I try my best to make entertaining stuff, Seahawks or non-Seahawks. So let's get into it. Cliff Avril has been really involved, right? And I think if you're not aware of how involved he's been, it's something that, you know, he's been going to practices, kind of consulting with the Seahawks. He's been on Seattle sports radio a lot. On top of all that, he has talked about him wanting to be part of the organization if possible and mentoring in some type of way. He's always been in the Seattle community. I mean, just recently, he's been at Kraken games, right? So, like, I think one interesting thing is that when Marshawn had the part ownership, him and Macklemore, there it is. Him and Macklemore had the part ownership thing in the Kraken. You had guys like Chancellor, Cliff Avril, Sidney Rice was there, all supporting each other, which brings me to one of the points is that two guys I would love to see on the coaching staff that I think would be a great, pair to help mentor and help understand the system, because they were big parts of it, is Cliff Avril and Cam Chancellor. But this video is more about Cliff Avril because he is the one that kind of has spoken about it. Now, I think overall, both of them unfortunately had some type of neck injuries that ended their careers. But they were the type of people that wanted to stay in Seattle, wanted to be part of whatever was building. And you can tell by somebody like Cliff Avril's involvement in the community still and with the team, he wants this to be something that he's a part of. He was even recently, I think it was yesterday, at the rookie camps or these practices recently, these last couple of weeks, helping out, mentoring young guys and helping them get accustomed to Seattle and the system and all those things. And Pete Carroll clearly has some love for him still, and trying to help him, potentially be part of this organization. And I'll tell you why I want that, okay? Forget my opinions on all of this. Let's talk about some of the things he said, and then I'm going to break down why the defense has a lot of potential. Now, Cliff Avril, let's start with what he has said here, because he did say on the Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton show on Seattle Sports Radio, Wyman and Bob, he said, I would love to, for sure, when he was asked about being part of the coaching staff, being part of the organization. I would love to be part of the organization, and my whole thing is, honestly, on the coaching side, being on the field would be great. I work with a lot of the young guys already. I work with the D linemen already anyways, but I think it's more along the lines of just having some veteran players that know what it looks like to be a pro. There's basically part one of him saying, yeah, let me be part of this. Part two is, he said, sometimes coaches, and I'm not putting this on the Seahawks, I'm just saying in general in the NFL, sometimes when you look at the younger player, he's cheaper, all these different things. But if he doesn't have a leader to help him understand what he's getting himself into, his career ends up being shorter than it needs to be. So having some leadership, guys that have been in the locker room, guys that have been in the trenches, and that have seen the same plays that they're seeing. I think there's just a different level of respect that comes with that. And I love that Cliff Avril said this. One reason I really love that Cliff Avril said this is because he is basically proving that, listen, I want some capacity of coaching with the Seahawks. One, because I already am taking the time out to try to help these guys. He wants to help these young Seahawks players. He wants to help the Seahawks in general. And he is a guy that's truly been there and done that for the Seahawks, and specifically for the Seahawks. Now, you could talk about so many different NFL players that want a role on their teams and different things like that, right? Like every NFL retired player could say this. But I think Cliff Avril is one of those people that actually showed it. And that's why it would make a lot of sense for him to have a chance to be part of the coaching staff. I think it's great for the young talent. I think he's right. He's been through the trenches and he's been through it in Seattle, understands what it takes in Seattle, understands what it takes behind a guy like Pete Carroll. And he understands what it takes to be a pro, especially when the Seahawks are leaning on this young defense, a lot of younger players, maybe less veteran. So I really, truly believe this would be an awesome move. Now, we can break down some reasons why I think it's also an awesome move in terms of the Seahawks defense. Now let's go through some things that I saw on Twitter, because Twitter provides you some good statistics. And before I even get to this one that I have on the screen here, I will say, on top of this, I know we got rid of Bobby Wagner, and that sucks, but we do have a young linebacker in Jordan Brooks who had 184 tackles, broke the franchise record for tackles in a season. So let's not sleep on that fact that, he is the type of guy that really, truly, can be the next Bobby Wagner of the team. I don't think he'll be as good as Bobby Wagner. That's hard to compete with. I don't want to say he's going to be the next Hall of Fame level linebacker, but he's getting there. And he broke the franchise record. So on top of that, for our young defense, we have Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams, and we have a lot of young pieces. And here from JetGH on Twitter, the Seahawks only allowed 3.8 yards per carry in 2021. That ranks second best, right behind the Saints. The Seahawks retained Al Woods and Poona Ford, who were the reason on that great run defense. The addition of Shelby Harris could make this the number one rushing defense. Now, obviously, who's a great person to be a mentor for that and help with the defense that is growing at that rate, playing at that type of level? Cliff Avril. On top of that, let's check this out. On top of that, I'm going to say it wrong, but it's Yusina Nuswe, however you say it. You can roast me in the comments, tell me in the comments the right way, spell it out for me, however you spell it. He is on the Seahawks now. He maintained a high pressure rate in his first season as a full-time starter, generating the 15th highest pressure rate in the NFL last season, 12.9%. You had to have at least 300 pass rushes. He joins a Seahawks defense that ranked 29 in pressure in 2021. Now, we had a great run defense, but the pressure rate was bad. 26th. So, another piece of the defense where we're talking about rushing the quarterback, getting to the quarterback, and solidifying the defense and the pressure on the quarterback. We have young guys at corner who are developing. We have great safeties, not good, great safeties. We have great young linebacker. And now we are working on the pass rush here. And we have potential with Shelby Harris, like we said, Al Woods, Poona Ford, Nosu, however you say it. We have a lot of potential to get a really good defense going. And I think a guy like Cliff Avril, specifically like Cliff Avril, he's the type of person that understands what a young Seahawks defense can do, what kind of, mentoring he can give these type of guys, and what kind of defense Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks organization are trying to build. And with all of that, I think there's no other guy that'd be in a better situation to be given a chance to be somebody that is a Seahawks coach after his career is over with the team. So I'm really hoping the Seahawks give him a chance. You saw based on his comments, he wants a chance. So I say Seahawks, give Cliff an opportunity, bring him on the defense, bring him as an assistant coach of some sort, and let's see what kind of amazing Seahawks defense we can build once again. Now, that's all I got for today. I think later this week I'm going to be talking some DK Metcalf extension talk. There's some updates on that, and I'll probably get that out by Friday. So please like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to see. I'm going to do not just Seahawks stuff. I'm thinking about doing a YouTube show or YouTube video on the most expensive sporting tickets in history. It'll be the top 10. That might be out by next week as well. Let me know what else you'd like to see. I love all the support. You can find me everywhere at Sammy on Tap. And don't mind my stuttering. Things happen sometimes. Honestly, I'm trying to come to you guys as natural and as chill on YouTube as possible, without too many edits or anything like that. I just want this to be me talking to you guys as friends, as fans, as whatever of the Seahawks. And we are going to just be talking sports. Eventually, once we get this channel boosted up, keep giving me some likes and subs. We can do lives. We can do collabs together. I'll do anything. I just want this to be a community of friends talking some football, talking some sports. Obviously, Seattle sports is my favorite, but I'm ready to talk any sports too. So hit me up in the comments. Much love, and we'll be back soon.